Well, good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. Wanted to remind you that if you're not already, to please make sure to mute your line. We have a great program for you, and we encourage you to post your questions in the chat box so we can ask them of our speaker at the end of the program. If you are joining us on Facebook today, please add your questions as a comment on the video that you're watching now. If you miss any portion of today's presentation, you have to log off early or you want to share it with somebody afterwards, it's going to be available to go back to on our Facebook page as well as on our YouTube channel after today's session is over. At this time, it's my pleasure to introduce the CEO of the Corona Chamber, Bobby Spiegel, to share some announcements with me today.
Well, good morning, Stephanie. Good morning, everyone. Happy Monday morning, and are you in for a treat today? I'd like to just take an opportunity, though, to remind everyone on this call that every Wednesday we have a Corona Chamber business briefing. It will be this Wednesday, March 10th at 10 a.m. The bit.ly is on the screen right now, so you can log on and register for that. And this week's speaker is going to be Lou Monville. He is the chair for the Riverside County Economic Recovery Task Force, and he's going to be sharing where our vision is as part of the task force on getting Riverside County businesses back open and operational, like almost a year ago today when things started to change throughout the world. So plug in on this Wednesday, and we'd love to have you there. Register on the link on the screen right there. And Stephanie, could you share about our Good Morning Corona coming up?
Absolutely. Thank you, Bobby. I'm excited to announce that we're going to be back in person for Good Morning Corona this month. We invite you to join us next Friday, March 19th at IHOP. We do also have a virtual option available, and early pricing is set through this Friday, March 12th. It's a great opportunity to make new connections, just those relationships that we've all been missing over this last year, that in-person connection, and we're excited to bring it back to you. Bobby?
Thank you so much. We have golf coming on up. Very exciting. I know that it says Thursday, May 27th, and a lot of people are thinking, I've got lots of time. Well, let me tell you, so many people that golfed in October with us said, oh, we want to do this again. So we have limited spots left. We don't want to discourage any of you. We want you to consider joining us. It'll be on Thursday, May 27th. There's a special discounted rate for a foursome if you want to do that and commit and purchase by May 20th. So I'm sorry, by March 20th. And so we're encouraging you to do so as well. For those that don't golf, for those that do want to help us invite a couple of our active duty military personnel, you can purchase some raffle tickets, and they're $25 a piece, or 6 for $100, or you can get 40 of them for $500. For every $500 raised, we invite one of the military people to golf with us, and then they get all the benefits and the pleasures of what our sponsors do. So please look on that screen there and register through the bit.ly. Stephanie?
Thank you, Bobby. In just over 3 weeks, our partnership with Brandeis Training Solutions brings Paul Webb and Jeff Brandeis to our members for this bi-monthly semi-private training. It's a great opportunity to dive deeper into your personal needs as a salesperson and helping with your clientele. And it's more industry specific because it's in a small group setting. It's limited to 8 to 10 people, so we encourage you to register right away. There is a partnership that we have with various chambers across the country, really, too. So you may get a chance to connect with others from outside the area. Following that, I'm sorry. Yes, Bobby?
That's you. Sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you're great. So the following month, Paul Webb will return again. We have him here actually with us the first Thursday of every month, but we switch off depending on what the content is. So on May 6th, we have partnered with the City of Corona to bring you this session on greeting techniques, questioning skills, listening skills, and reinforcing and complimenting. It's a tool that you can use in your sales approach in really listening to what your customers' needs are so that you can teach them how to buy from you. It's a fabulous program. It is free for anybody to register as long as they do it in the next month. We definitely encourage you, if you're thinking about it now, sign up, save those 2 dates so that you don't miss it on your calendar. And thank you again to the City of Corona for sponsoring this. Bobby?
So advocacy is a huge outreach that we do, and the labor law posters is another opportunity for you to stay compliant. The Corona Chamber has these extra posters in stock. We have both English and Spanish. They are very reasonably priced. If you want to purchase multiple ones, you can get them at a reduced price. You'll see it on the screen there. And just simply give us a call at 951-737-3350, and we can get you your posters so that you're compliant. Just remember that if anyone is working remotely, they need a poster accessible. That's per California law. Stephanie?
Thank you, Bobby. For those of you who are joining us today who are not yet a member of our chamber, or if you have a client or a vendor of yours that is not yet a member, we would definitely love your referrals, and we encourage you to connect with Robert Yanes to become a part of our chamber family. He is our membership development specialist here at the chamber, and he is so well versed in really what your business needs to take it to the next level. Great listener, and we are just so excited to grow our chamber. Programs like today are just one of many benefits of being part of an active and thriving organization. We serve a regional landscape, so we're not bound by geographical limits. We actually have many members outside the city of Corona and even some outside of the state. We have a special March Madness program coming up, you'll see later this week, to coincide with the NCAA March Madness Championship, and you won't want to miss out on it. And just take a look at that information on the screen, and we will get you connected.
Thank you. You're passing I guess, the ball over to me now, no pun intended. Okay, so the flag program. I am so excited that this was a program brought to us by Mary Barnett, and it is the Flag Corona, and that it stands for Frontline Appreciation Group. Our healthcare heroes continue to face huge challenges and fatigue, and through the partnership of the Flag Corona and the Corona Chamber Foundation, along with the Chamber, we're able to do gratitude meals. And what this means is that you can make a donation to the foundation, which is a 501c3 organization. Your donation will be 100% tax deductible. The foundation then will outreach to various eateries in town, pay a full price of the meals so those eateries can stay in business. As well, those meals then will go to the healthcare workers. So it's a win-win-win all the way around. We encourage you to text FLAG to 71441, and the links will be sent directly to you, or you can make a donation on the website of givebigcorona.com. Stephanie?
Thank you, Bobby. Wanted to remind you all that available now is our new mobile app for Android and Apple. You can post promotions for your business, check out upcoming events and register, and much more, post job postings, all sorts of great features. So we encourage you to download it now and start accessing those options. Bobby?
Thank you. And as I'm about to introduce our partner, I just want to share a little bit about the partnership with the City of Corona and some exciting things coming up in April. I did want to mention that Riverside County considers April Innovation Month. And what that means is that there's going to be some similar to a Shark Tank pitch on a regional level as well as a county-wide level. Corona, the City of Corona, and the Chamber of Commerce will be working on the regional one, which will be on April 8th. And there'll be more details that we'll be emailing out to you. But if you know anyone in the innovation side of things, mainly technology, we want to hear their fast pitch, and we want to be able to have them share all the exciting things that they're putting together. The winner from our regional one will go to a countywide competition at the very end of April. And they could win anywhere from $2,500 up to $10,000. And there will be some angel investors at that one at the end of April. So if you've got questions or you want more information, either contact Stephanie or myself here at the Chamber, and we'll be glad to get you that information. Or you can contact Jessica, who I'm about to introduce from the City of Corona. The whole month of April will be innovation focused. So all of our meetings, all of our seminars, all the things that we're doing will have a flair to the innovation. And speaking of innovation, we've got a great business partner. Her name is Jessica Gonzalez. She is with the City of Corona in charge of economic development. She is so well known throughout the state of California. Her resume reads like it would be volumes of dictionaries. For you younger folks, that would be like if you Googled Jessica Gonzalez, you would have pages of different things that would be accomplishments that have happened. because this lady is a connector and she has such great vision for the future, for our city, for the business community. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Jessica Gonzalez.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you, Bobby. Bobby is always very kind with this introduction, but it's a pleasure to be with all of you this morning. I am, just as you are, completely looking forward to hearing from Elaine, and very, very timely. Today is International Women's Day, and what a way to celebrate by hearing from Elaine. And if you are aware, the theme for International Women's Day for this year is Choose to Challenge. And in the teasers that I've been seeing about Elaine's story, that's exactly what she will be sharing, how she challenged and how she continues to triumph. So I'm excited to hear from her. Really quick, in terms of the city side, first and foremost, we have reopened to the public today. So City Hall is open. We were all, of course, conducting business as usual, but the building, City Hall, is open today if you need to stop by for any reason. So we're excited about that. And then also in terms of entrepreneurship, as Bobby mentioned, we have extensive partnerships. I really celebrate and really embrace the partnerships that we can put forth to promote our entrepreneurs. And so in this vein, we right now are halfway through our Spanish Entrepreneurship Academy, going really well. Delighted to see every Tuesday our aspiring entrepreneurs gain the insights, the knowledge they need to launch their business concepts. Once again, conducted in Spanish to make sure we are serving all sectors of our community. And just around the corner on April 8th, we will be starting the English version. So it's Entrepreneurial and Business Leadership Academy, a 6-week academy starting April 8th. So please make sure that you reach out to us for any more information, and hopefully you are receiving our monthly newsletter that just went out last week. We're excited to have those two efforts. And in the coming months, as we have welcomed new team members, you will also be seeing an added heightened focus on entrepreneurs and sharing the stories. And just like Bobby mentioned, we're partnering with the Chamber on Innovation Month with Riverside County, and specifically Corona. We're proud that the Chamber has been able to take the lead in putting forth the Corona Fast Pitch competition, which will be held at our council chambers. Very excited to see that happen on April 8th. With that, I don't want to take any more time away from our featured speaker, Elaine. Congratulations on everything you've accomplished. I'm looking forward to hearing you, and I'll turn it back over to Bobby.
Thank you so much, Jessica. And boy, I tell you, this is the real deal right here. I have known Elaine since high school, and their family and our family had a lot of business dealings together. And some people would say it was competitors and we were just in the same industry. It was just to do electrical contracting at the time and provide employment for many, many different households. Elaine opened up her business, originally known as A Cone Zone, in 2003, really on a shoestring budget. I don't even think it was shoestring. I think it was more like a dental floss budget. She purchased a used traffic truck, 100 cones and a few signs, and an aero board. But she literally just went hitting the pavement, knocking on construction doors, going to the construction sites, visiting with people, and just really going into what we would have called years ago a man's world, and developing a company. Later, because of the success of what she saw, her business was expanding rapidly. There was an opportunity for her to sell her company to the largest traffic system business, and it's called RoadSafe Traffic Systems, and that was in January just this last year. They are currently managing the Corona location. During this transition time, Elaine is still involved with the company. She has really broken through all glass ceilings. Her tremendous heart of giving back to the community and many nonprofit organizations, it's been witnessed day in and day out. She is just a true giver. When Elaine sold the company, other challenges became apparent, because when you have a big company, there's bigger problems, and she's going to share some of those today. But what I love about Elaine's story is that anyone that is thinking of going into business will be able to glean nuggets from her. Anyone that has got their business going and they're looking to expand to the next level will be able to take down copious notes and be able to apply some of the things that she's gone through and be able to improve your business model immediately. And then those that are fortunate enough to be able to build your American dream of a big business and sell it off and be able to reap those benefits, she's going to share some tidbits there that can help you go down the road of success. So without any further ado, please welcome, soon to be a birthday girl tomorrow, please welcome Elaine Norland.
Thank you so much, Bobby. And thank you to the Chamber for allowing me this opportunity to share. Wow, you've told my story. Does anyone have any more questions? It's been a journey and I've been very blessed. And one thing I want people to know is I was 47 when I started a cone zone. So going out in the field and actually doing those setups and doing all the work that was required and coming home at night to do the billing and just plod through it all. So I don't want your age ever to stop you from achieving your dreams. You can do it. It was kind of nice because it kept me physically fit for quite a while. As Bobby said, I did get to grow up here in Corona, and I've been paid today to not share too many stories about Bobby and Paula Montanez and Eugene Montanez. So we'll just call me later. I'll tell you on the side.
Elaine, we appreciate that honesty and being able to keep your mouth quiet on that part.
Yeah. So, and thank you, Jessica, for such a kind introduction there too. I look forward to having a lunch with you someday here soon. Part of my journey in growing the business was not giving up. And I can't say that enough to new entrepreneurs giving it a try. It's not easy. It's a lot of hours. Don't give up. There were so many times I wanted to, but whatever in me just kept me driving, and the paybacks were just wonderful. So my background is I worked in the construction business. I worked specifically for a home builder for 11 years, and that went from purchasing the land to getting it processed to actually bringing what they call the off-sites, all the utilities to the property, and then the on-sites, actually building the homes. And so I got to work start to finish. And what that did is it gave me the background I needed to know for traffic control. So when I'm out working with a customer and they're going to be doing sewer, I know they're going to be really deep and probably need the concrete K-rail barriers, as opposed to they're doing curb and gutter, they just need open trench signs. It just helped give me the background and knowledge of what was needed for traffic control. And as was said, I just bought an orange shirt and a used truck and started knocking on doors. I had some fun stories about this one site. The job trailer was being set. It was a double wide. And as they were literally moving it closed, I said, hold on. And I ran up there and threw a flyer in on the floor, and they shut the trailer. The next day when the superintendent got there, he called me and he goes, what? How did you get this in there? And I got that job for that perseverance and trying. It was fun. It is a male-dominated industry, and back in the beginning, not so much in the last years, but in the beginning, there was some sexual harassment that went on, because when you go out on a job trailer, this one job, he was an old New Yorker superintendent, and he just eyed me up and down to where it was uncomfortable. And I just spoke up and said, my eyes are here. And he went, oh. So we talked business, and then he finally said, well, you're not as well built as the last girl that was in here, but you know what you're doing, so I'm going to give you the job. And those were tough times. You walk out of there, you wonder if you handled it right. I always tried to handle it with dignity, but you know, it was a great big job, and he was respectful from then on. I think he was just testing me, but I got the respect after that. I never had to deal with that again. But those incidences did happen. Like I said, today people are much more sensitive, and it's I haven't had to experience that. Let me see. I just continued to grow. In 2010, I was blessed to get a large contract with Metrolink. And with that, my company doubled in size in 2011. And wow, what a ride when you're that young and new in business and trying to get everything going. It was difficult because in the middle of that year in that contract, I had $500,000 in good receivables. And my bank came to me and said, "You're too small. We don't want to keep you as a customer." And that's tough because you need the line of credit and you need, you know, your finances to be working for you during this growth period. So I went on the search and went through a lot of interviews in different banks and finally found one that would accept me. And that was kind of my story throughout all 17 years of being in business. I struggled to get financing in a good bank, partly because of the industry I'm in. Traffic control is not one most people know. They always think it's Caltrans. They don't understand that I had a contractor's license. I'm out there doing the work. So partly women-owned, partly because of the type of industry, and just not knowing, it was always difficult. Stuck through it. Again, those challenges, you just keep moving on, and was able to get, you know, a good bank to support me. We talk about the chamber, and I got to tell you, I loved being a part of the chamber. I wasn't with them very long, and I'm at one of the events. I'm standing in a food line to get food. And I met John Peterson, who I see is on this call. And we start talking, and I talked about my insurance struggles and how I needed a good insurance agent. Well, John just happens to work for DFI Insurance, and they became a vendor of mine, and it was the best relationship. So as you're growing your business or you're starting, one of my big suggestions and references is to make sure you don't have knowledge in all the different areas needed to run a business. So surround yourself with good people. Get a good banker, get a good CPA, an insurance broker, an attorney, and get yourself a mentor. I have a couple of women on this call that have been mentors to me that have been very special in my life, Cece Best and Jan Steiner. And it's been so appreciated throughout the years. So use them. Bring yourself people around you that you can trust and use them to help you. What else? I continue to be blessed and grow, but as Bobby alluded to, the birthdays keep coming and those numbers keep getting higher. And I wasn't sure, my children weren't interested in the business. And so I had to start planning what I was going to do for my exit. So I started reading books, going to seminars, talking to people who had sold their business. And I realized that if I was going to continue to grow the business, I had to get more experience behind me, and I had to understand how this works. And so going to seminars, reading books. I joined Vistage. Vistage was a great help for me. It's an executive referral or group that they help you with coaching, with seminars. I was just amazed at the speakers and the quality of the meetings and everything that went on there. And so they also helped to assist me when I decided that I did want to sell, what that whole process was. And it really takes about 3 years to get your company and yourself ready for a sale. So one of the things I've learned is the time involved. Make sure you're planning ahead for all of this if you really want to take full advantage and get what you can out of it. I hired a Vistage member to coach me and my staff, and we just started. One of the things is my profit margin had gone down. In spite of my revenue getting so large, my profit wasn't there. So when I hired him, I'm thinking he's going to come in and look at finances and look at this and that. No, he came in and said, interviewed all my employees and said, let's work on the morale, because when the morale's high, they're going to be more profitable for you. So we started reading books. And Stephanie, if you want to show the picture of those books, that would be great.
Just one moment.
Okay. And so my group, we'd choose a book, and every week, if we could, sometimes we had to skip a week, we would meet and go over it. So one of the first books we read was the one that says Who. It's by Jeff Smart. And this book was amazing in helping us to interview different. We wanted to get rid of the employees who were not contributing. So we reference them as A players, right? We wanted A players in our business. We didn't want the C's and D's and going on. And this book helped us to identify them, to interview different. And we all struggled because it's a slower process, but that's where I learned in the industry, you always want to fire fast and hire slow. And the hiring slow and following this process, we got quality employees in here. And you hear me talk all the time about being blessed with the staff that I have. Sometimes we get B players, but we know these B players are potential to move up to an A player. And so if you're having any difficulties in retaining employees or hiring, try this book. It's different. You got to work through it, but it's well worth it. And then the next book we had was Crucial Conversations. There's several books out with similar titles, Crucial Accountability and such like that. But for us, our group, we needed to improve our communication. And that's one of the biggest things I've always found throughout all the years is communication. So it helped to teach us to speak up in a constructive manner. And we found it helped all of us in our relationships, both at home, with family. So again, I really highly recommend that, but it's a working book. It's not just one you read. And then we went to the 5 dysfunctions of a team, and it helped us to see and point out the dysfunctions we were exploring and experiencing, and again, to work towards better communication. So upon the research and everything I was looking at and deciding to sell my business, I ran across this book, Never Split the Difference by Chris Voss. Oh my goodness, the stories he shares in this, working with government and in negotiating with international hostages, as well as other ways. And the process of negotiations that you're taught in this book can help you from buying your groceries to major purchases like vehicles, to dealing with your employees and your mate. So really, really good books. Another one, when I was at a Vistage meeting, I forgot to put it on this list, was Extreme Ownership, How the U.S. Navy SEALs Lead and Win. And that one's by Jocko Willink. in Leaf Babin, I think. And I was privileged to attend the seminar where he shared his stories. Just phenomenal books. And just to state, I am not a book fiend. I don't read books all the time. But when I get ones like this, man, I hold on to them. They were great. So in doing all this research, I learned that you should and need to get your financials in order in a whole different manner. You want to, instead of trying to save in your taxes and keep your write-offs high, you need to show as much profit, because that's what your seller or your buyer is going to be paying you, is on your profit margin. So you have to change your whole thinking and how you're going about with your finances. And again, that's where your CPA comes in. And I'd recommend a good financial advisor. We have several in the chamber that are great to help you get set up and get ready for this sale. In your financials, you should know what an Ebitda means, which is earnings before taxes, interest, taxes, depreciation, and amortization. So basically, it's the net earnings with these items added back. And then what they tend to do is pay a factor on what that Ebitda is, depending on the industry you're in. So that, I mean, I've heard it as low as a 2 factor, as high as a 20 factor. It's a wide range, but you want to understand and at least have a basic knowledge of how this is going to work. Let me see. Don't do it alone. Again, your experience and your knowledge, that's where a good attorney and a good CPA who understands the nuances to selling a business. It's different than just your CPA who does your annual taxes. There's a whole nuance to selling, and you want to make sure that they understand that, because the contracts can get pretty involved. With me dealing with a nationwide, the largest traffic control company in the industry, they had already done purchases. They knew what they were doing on their side. So I had to make sure I got my end covered. A lot of negotiations, using that book again to help me with the negotiations throughout the process. There's just so many nuances to it all. Once I decided I was ready for the sale, I started making some reach out calls, and I had already been in contact with RoadSafe from previous dealings. And so I reached out to them because I'd gotten a very large contract that I was not going to be able to support myself. So I reached out to them to ask for help if they wanted to joint venture with me on this contract. And that's when they came and said, no, we want to look at buying you. And I'm like, no, the contract. No, let's talk about this. So then some other people I knew people looking to invest. And in the long run, I ended up getting 3 different companies to offer to purchase. And looking, they were all very similar in price, but how they were going to pay it out was very different. And that's what, again, you want. It's not just the end dollar. It's how are they going to finance? How are they going to pay? And RoadSafe was a very clean deal, and they cared about my employees. And if you know me, I've always cared very much, very deeply about my employees. And they were willing to work with them, work that my employees didn't lose any of their accrued time. So when they started with RoadSafe on day 1, if they'd been with me for 5 years, they were treated as if they had worked 5 years with RoadSafe. And that's phenomenal. Most businesses won't do that. They were just fair in all their dealings, but it took the negotiation to make sure that that happened. So when I decided that it was going to be RoadSafe, they gave me what they call an LOI, a letter of intent. And that's when the actual work begins. It is just amazing the amount of work required. And once they give you the offer letter, you initially do finances and stuff, and then they provide an offer letter, and then you give all the details. And so for me, I have inventory. I had to give a complete detailed inventory, all contracts, all vendor contracts, customer contracts, all equipment, from my chairs and computers in the office to, everything in the field, my vehicles, everything in the vehicles, very detailed list. And so it was a lot of work. And that's where, again, if you have the right attorney and CPA, they can help you through some of that. My understanding and what I've been told is that normally a transaction will take about 12 to 18 months, sometimes longer. Be prepared for that time frame. I wasn't prepared. From my letter of interest, which I got in mid-August, we closed January 24th of 2020. That's only 5 months. It was quite a hectic time. There was no life in that time period, but well worth it. So January 24th, we closed. That day they had the president and like 5 other corporate officers in here to greet all the employees, to help us get acclimated. We started training for the RoadSafe way, and COVID hit. Stopped all travel. No one was able to come here anymore. I think it took everybody a few weeks or a month to get Zoom all set up and start handling things that way. So I felt kind of isolated and out here. Things were going pretty good. All my employees but one accepted the offer to stay with RoadSafe, and that one was already leaving for another reason. So it was really nice to have everyone here. It was nice to share with our customers that we were all here. But the process was different, and I have not worked for a large corporation. I have always worked for small companies. It was different having a boss. And oh yeah, I need to ask him first. I got a few emails. Elaine, remember, we're here. They were very kind about it. But I also knew business just had to get done, and that's my nature. So for about 6 months, I kept waiting for more guidance, and it took me that long to realize I had to do what they hired me to do and get my butt in gear and get going again. So it was a good feeling to take charge and just start running the business again, and saw a difference in the employees and just the customers. I don't know, it was quite a transition for me from corporate, or from my own to corporate, to they themselves like to have their branch managers run more independent, and realizing that and taking charge again. So with RoadSafe, what I've recently experienced is one of my largest companies is decided to take their traffic control internal, and they are taking several of my key employees. And so, I mean, this just happened last week and this week. So I've lost 5 key employees already. I don't know how many more. So there's, just because it's theirs doesn't mean you don't care and you give up. I mean, it's been an emotional time for me to let these employees go, but that's the other thing in business. You can care for your employees, but employees are employees, whether we like it or not. Even I'm expendable, right? So you got to learn to move on. And there's a lot of people who want work out there. Our company is a second chance company. So we like to give people that second chance, and they've worked really hard and well for me. So the challenges continue. My contract is, part of the sale was I stay for 2 years. That contract will end in January of 2022. So I have less than a year under contract, but that doesn't mean that I can't stay with RoadSafe. So I don't know if I'm going to actually retire or if I'm going to get to work a little bit more. God only knows the future here, but I'm willing to do that. I just want to share a couple pictures so you can kind of understand how our business and what our products are. And then I'll let you go. Let me see here. Okay. So this picture happened to be a couple of years ago. It's when it was a cone zone and we celebrated our 15th anniversary. I made it 17 years. And so you may recognize yourself in that group. It was a fun day. And then that is what the normal office will look like. Our warehouse, we sell signs, we sell cones, all sorts of traffic control products. But we actually manufacture the signs in our sign shop as well. So we can rent. We have the guys to do the actual setups, including this mannequin here. Sometimes he works. And then we can sell. So we're full service in what we do. So just a couple of pictures of how we keep everything inside. I didn't take pictures of the yard, but there's a lot outside in the yard as well. And then we draw traffic control plans. Now I know you can't read this, but it's to give you an idea of the depth. We use AutoCAD to actually draw the plans and submit to the cities how the cones and the equipment are going to be laid out there in the street for the work being performed. And I have just some fun pictures of my crew. We like to have a lot of fun. And here's some pictures of the sign shop where we produce our signs. So that's all I've got.
Well, Elaine, you nailed it. You hit it out of the park, all the little cliches that we could state, but I took lots of notes, and I'm so glad that you were able to come on today and share. And you are like an open book. You share from your heart, and you're here to help other people. I do recall when you first made the announcement to me that you were selling and that your owners were in town, or a couple of top people, and you brought them to our Good Morning Corona breakfast. And I was so impressed with them that they wanted to continue with what you started and the involvement locally. So that was really cool. I wrote down lots of different things that you had talked about, the importance of establishing good partners with your insurance, your banker, a CPA, and of course, mentors. And I know we have lots of questions. There will be a slide up here of how to, well, it says it right there, to use the chat box. And if you're on Facebook Live, go ahead and put it as a comment. And as time permits, Stephanie will be able to ask these questions. So again, just type them into the chat box. Stephanie will read them. She's got a list of them right now. And I just want to say again, I so applaud you. I know that you had different offers from different organizations, but as what I took from your message and what I heard you say today, it was important that the people that took over your company treated your employees like you treated them. They were going to take care of your customers the way that you took care of them. So it was really your legacy going on, even though your children weren't interested in taking on the business, but your business would continue hopefully in the same vein that you created it. So with that, Stephanie, would you go ahead and start with the first question?
Thank you so much. Elaine, we have lots of questions in the chat for you today. So first one, I was told attitude far oversteps knowledge, meaning if you hired someone with a great attitude, they can learn your product or service. Attitude is something you can rarely teach. Do you agree?
100%. We quit looking at experience and we hire by attitude.
Wonderful. In your experience, were you ever approached by someone who wanted something that you didn't offer yet? Something you maybe wanted to do or have, but hadn't quite added that to your toolkit yet? What did you do? Did you say yes and quickly figure it out, or did you say no and move on? If yes, can you elaborate?
One of my problems is I don't know how to say no. So I always said, let me work on it, or yes. In our industry, I was willing to give up the profit margin and go to a competitor and rent their equipment and re-rent it to the customer so that I could provide that service, whether it be the concrete barriers, because I don't have the yard or the equipment to deal with those, but we can do those jobs, or striping. I don't have a striping machine, but I work with other stripers to be able to still give a good competitive price with our customers. So I just always try to figure it out. I don't say no.
I love that laugh there. It's like you're thinking of all the stories and times this has happened, right? Next question. Do you have any family members working for you?
Nope. I love my husband. We've been married 42 plus years, and we did that by not working together. We're just not one of those couples. My son fell in love with a lady up in Sparks, Nevada, and is a fireman up there. And my daughter actually works for RoadSafe today, but in Sparks, Nevada, not for me down here.
Well, thank you. Next question. How do you trust people when it's your name and your reputation out there? Is there a book that you use that helped you, or any experience you can share?
I can't tell you how often that trust but verify has come into play. And I trusted a key employee very much who'd been with me for years. And the last year or so, I forgot to verify. And so in this transition, that's been a tough one to learn again. You're never going to grow. You're never going to get anywhere if you don't trust. But you have to verify what's going on as well, too. So if you want growth, you've got to trust. It's just part of the process.
Thank you. Can you elaborate on how NABO has helped you?
Yes, I'm sorry I didn't say that. I joined NABO, I believe, in 2014. It's National Association of Women Business Owners. And in my industry, being male dominated, it got pretty lonely. And when I joined NABO, it gave me a chance to meet other women business owners. And it was just a wonderful experience. And in 2016, I was blessed to win the award of the NABO Women Business Owner for 2016 for the state of California. It was quite an honor.
Congratulations. Regarding the employees who left for your customer, do you have a non-compete agreement?
California does not allow non-competes.
That's very interesting. Thank you.
It's painful.
It just kind of proves that it's not like business people making up these laws, right? Okay.
Right.
Did you lose any customers in the transition because they did not like them?
Not because they didn't like them. As women owned in construction, there are certifications you get for disadvantaged business enterprise, women owned. And so that allowed me to work government contracts a lot more. They tend to have a high percentage that they want of participation of disadvantaged business enterprises. So I did lose some of that business. It's kind of funny. One of the major freeway contracts going on, we were selling them quite a bit of equipment. And they said, well, now we can't do business with you. So they went to a competitor and it took them 6 weeks. They came back and said, no, I can't get the service from them. We don't care. We're going to continue to buy. So that was quite a blessing.
So Elaine, I understand that there's a young man on the call as well that has a birthday the same as yours. And he asked if we were going to sing happy birthday to you. So I think it would be appropriate for everyone that may not be aware, tomorrow is Elaine's birthday, as well as Don Williamson's, as well as our grandson, RJ. So if we could all unmute, because my voice is definitely not going to be the one that's going to carry this, but we should be singing happy birthday because she's done an amazing job. And I wish you many, many more years in success and in friendship. On the count of 3, 1, 2.
Last year, no, wait, real quick. Last year, we got to celebrate, all 3 of us, at a basketball game. And then, like the next day, everything shut down. So that's—
You're absolutely right. And now, isn't it nice that now everything's lifted, or I'm considering it lifted? We'll celebrate again. So
yes, yes.
Sing happy birthday. And I was told by someone that in the year 2020, there were no birthdays. So you didn't really have a birthday. So don't worry. So this one is now for your next one. So happy birthday.
Birthday to you.
Happy
birthday
to you.
Birthday,
Happy
dear Elaine.
everyone.
Happy birthday to you.
God bless you, Elaine.
Okay, so I noticed
John
Eugene
and
was still muted, as well as RJ, so that wasn't very fair. But
Well,
Elaine,
I was really just helping everybody make it through the day.
there you go. Yeah, I recall Mr. Farmer used to always tell me, no, don't sing, Bobby. Just sit there and just look. You know, don't move your lips. Don't even sing. So he was our choir teacher in elementary and junior high. Listen, Elaine, thank you so very, very much. I'm going to turn this back over to Stephanie to do the closing out. But on behalf of all the people that were here on this call this morning, as well on the Facebook Live, and to all our membership, we just thank you for being so transparent, so genuine, and thank you for being part of the Corona Chamber. God bless you, sweetheart. Happy birthday early. And
Thank you so much.
Stephanie, if you'd go ahead and close it out for us. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Elaine. Can't echo that sentiment enough. It was great hearing your story today. We want to thank all of you who are on the call and joining us on Facebook for being part of today's program. Please mark your calendars for the next Coffee with an Entrepreneur 1 month from today on April 12th. And that's a wrap. Have a great day, everyone.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Elaine.
Bye.
Thanks, Elaine.
Thank you.
That was awesome.
Thank you.